Yo, what is up everyone? We are back again today for another Hope You're Happy Lemon chapter. Chapter 101 just dropped and it was pretty crazy. Essentially, this chapter was a confirmation of Sunao and Kogahara's relationship, and we also got to see a little bit more of Lemon's perspective on the whole matter. But most importantly, from this chapter, we get to see that the story is going to be progressing. One of the main themes of the story is the body swapping aspect, and to be honest, we have not covered any of it since the very beginning. But it looks like we're going to get back on track trying to solve this mystery. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's just hop straight into the chapter. This chapter really begins with Lemon confessing her troubles in love to her friends Raika and Suzuka. At this point, they kind of already know what to expect. Like, Lemon still likes Sunao, but she also wants Natsumin to be happy. But yeah, basically her friends are just there to lend an ear, essentially. Raika is trying to cheer her up, saying you don't have to force yourself to be all cheery. And Lemon goes and says, to be honest, if I said I was doing great and I wasn't sad at all, that would probably be a lie. But I think even if I feel that way, I feel sort of refreshed in a sense, like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Anyways, I have no regrets. This is a very, I guess, tough decision for Lemon to make. It's almost a sense of her choosing love over friendship, or friendship over love in this case. And she doesn't want to break her relationship with Kogahara, and she knows that she has been not the best girlfriend in the past to Sunao. So this is like the decision she came to, even though it's not what's true in her heart. But yeah, after Lemon says all of this, Suzuka kind of gets his suspicions confirmed, and he has a little internal monologue saying, I see, so Sunao does really like Kogahara. He then goes and says, well, if it were him and Lemon who were going out, it would be just their problem to work out, including the whole body swapping thing. But with Kogahara, it is no longer a problem between Lemon and Sunao. So he's probably not going to confess or date her anytime soon. Suzuka has been this kind of grounding figure in the story. I'll describe him as the logical one. Basically, he's just kind of the person who is setting things out straight and kind of addressing all of the problems that arise. And in this instance, it's no different. Right now, the timeline in Hope You're Happy Lemon is a little confusing. I believe in chapter 98 or 99, this was when Lemon decided, hey, I'm gonna go talk to Suzuka and Raika about this whole situation. And then right after, in chapter 100, we cut to Sunao confessing to Kogahara. And these events were happening at kind of the same time, and all of the things that Suzuka was saying were before he knew that Sunao and Kogahara were going out. But yeah, we jump to the present and we get a panel of Suzuka saying, or at least that's what I thought. I never thought these two would start dating so fast. It seems like the group of friends are hanging out, and Suzuka goes and brings up the elephant in the room, saying, actually, mind if I ask you three something? And he is addressing Lemon, Kogahara, and Sunao, and he says, do none of you really care about the whole body swap thing? I mean, the person you are dating is constantly swapping bodies with someone else. Isn't that a pretty big deal? Kogahara, are you just like okay with that? And her response is, actually, I think I kind of accepted that's just the way they are, so it hasn't really been bothering me. Maybe living with Lemon has just made me numb to this kind of thing. We get a little bit of comedy or whatever with Suzuka trying to like almost doubting himself, thinking, wait, is he the weird one? And Raika just says, if Lemon sees a problem with it, then it's a big deal. If she doesn't, then there's no problem. But essentially what this boils down to is that Lemon and Sunao do ultimately want to get this whole body swap thing fixed, but Suzuka brings up that it doesn't look like any of you guys have been making any substantial progress towards this goal. There's been no real motivation, and everyone's just kind of been going with the flow of things. At least in Lemon's case, she's not saying this out loud, but this whole body swapping thing is just kind of an excuse for her to stay close to Sunao. They are body swapped in this day, so yeah, but as they continue talking, we get to see that, hey, they are nearing the end of their first year, and their second year of college is about to start, and they will be having more legitimate classes towards their major. So basically, it's just going to be harder for them to keep up this whole body swapping act. So it looks like we are going to get an actual mystery solving arc, hopefully, or body swapping arc where we can maybe see how they fix this. I still think it would be really cool if Kokohara switched bodies as well. I don't know what the whole ordeal with it is. Maybe it's the first time that they swap bodies, they ran into each other. Maybe it's something to do with like longing for the other person. Or maybe it's like if you were like romantically involved and then have regrets or something. Maybe that is the angle that we're going with, but we'll have to see. But yeah, after this whole conversation, after this little get together, we are left with Sunao and Kokohara at the apartment. Sunao is in Lemon's body right now, and we just get a little awkward moment between the two of them. We first get Sunao apologizing to Kokohara, saying, hey, I really shouldn't have confessed in the state that I'm in. This whole body swapping thing, it makes it a lot more uncomfortable for you. And then we get Kokohara saying, well, actually, I was gonna confess that same day, so that's not too big of a deal. But this does get Sunao to thinking like, wait, Kokohara has never dated anyone before, but she really wanted to ask me out. So he goes and pops the question, why did you decide to confess to me? Kind of jokingly a little bit, but Kokohara goes and says, I didn't want you to end up dating someone else. After she says this, she says, oh, I think I just said something really embarrassing. Forget I said that. Does that make me possessive? Yada yada yada. Whatever, we get some Kokohara chapter. Jesus. Yeah, that's kind of the end of that. Sunao goes and says, oh, I need to get back to normal as soon as possible. But yeah, that's essentially the end of the chapter. We do get one last page of the other three walking back, and it looks like Lemon is kind of stressing about the whole situation, saying if we don't solve this fast, things could get really bad. And yeah, that's just kind of the end of that. This chapter was pretty good. Lemon has been on a pretty good streak so far. I was a little concerned with the way that Sunao was acting. I would say from chapters like 80 to like 95, 96, it looked like he really still wanted to get together with Lemon. He had like regrets, but no, that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like he was just treading lightly so that he wouldn't, or like not ruin his relationship with Lemon, because they're still friends and they have this whole body swap mechanic thing, but he didn't want to stir up anything. And I think that was mostly, hopefully that's the case, and not that his bouncing between girls. Hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, we officially have Sunao and Kokohara together. Everyone knows about it, and we will be proceeding on with the story, right? We will be trying to figure out this whole body swap thing, how this happened, why. Maybe I don't know how deep they're gonna go into it. I don't think it's gonna be like, I don't think this is gonna turn to like some sci-fi movie or sci-fi like series. So hopefully it's not gonna be a super lengthy conclusion to it, but I guess you kind of also want it to be kind of long, right? So the series goes on for longer. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Lemon's been good, been treating us well, and I really enjoy it. I cannot say the same for other series, unfortunately. But yeah, if you want to see me cover other series on the channel, definitely let me know. If you have any insightful knowledge on Hope You're Happy Lemon, please leave it down in the comment section. A while ago, someone did comment about the actual title of the series, Kusa Ona ni Sachi Are, that doesn't have Lemon in the title of it, and it roughly translates to, I hope that bitch is happy. So we will see. I might do a whole thing covering that, because that could be a really cool underlying thing in the series. But yeah, that's really about it. So I'll see y'all.